Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. And in case you hadn't heard, we have recently seen in really the last year the greatest single surge of first-time buyers ever entering the RV market. And among those are work campers, remote workers, people who are suddenly either able or required to work out of a traditional office environment. The hiccup is, there's not a whole lot of things out there in the world of RVing that are very out-of-the-box conducive to an office environment. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to show you one example of a concept that can be very easily converted into an office space. And then I will leave you a whole bunch of links in the video description, anything I can think of that is either already office outfitted in some fashion or very easily office upfitted. Because as more people, again, work on the road using mobile data sources, which are more and more available than ever before, this is becoming a totally viable new way of life for people that doesn't sound like it's going out of style anytime soon.
Now, the idea that I have for you today, what I like about it is it's actually very flexible. It's a concept that you can apply to a lot of different things. Today we happen to be in a Catalina travel trailer. And I will leave links to this one, as well as a whole bunch of other things that could potentially fit the bill for you in the video description. I kind of wanted just to give you a quick lay of the land, though, just to help set the scene and set the stage. So we've got our living room. There's a private bedroom on the other side of the door behind us, our bathrooms to the left. But we come back here into what is traditionally a bunkhouse. And, there's handy storage over here that can easily be repurposed. But for the most part, I have found that most people really struggle to picture something if it's not overtly presented to them. So I wanted to show you a very simple, crude example of how you could convert this into your very own mobile work camper. And if you can believe it, I built this specific trailer specifically for the idea of this video, knowing that it could, potentially work as a good office space for some folks, but also obviously for a general family camper. And there's two things that really made this one stick out to me. You can build this RV with 50 amp service and dump a second air conditioner here dedicated to just this rear office room. So if you really need to, if you like it to be hot or cold as you please, but you want that to be kind of separate climate controls from the living space, you can do that. But because basically everything within this slide out effectively gets out of the way, it becomes a blank canvas where, even with just a couple very simple add-ons, you can really make this a functional workspace. Case in point, you see what I did here with 0 screws, 0 fasteners, nuts, bolts, hammers, and nails, 0 modification. I've converted this space into a functional office area. And I'm going to explain some of the different ideas that I kind of have as I look at this. Now, all this really is basically just a picnic table, a laptop, a chair, and, some sort of office storage. Although remember, in a lot of bunk rooms, you have clothing storage that you can repurpose, so you may not even necessarily need that. And the application of this may vary by floor plan. But again, I'm just trying to give you an idea to get the juices flowing, get the idea going. One of the reasons that this works so well for bunkhouses is because there's often things like power outlets nearby so that you can do some things like juice up a laptop, a computer, a printer. You could set up like a local in-house Wi-Fi network just to be able to do some wireless printing to not have everything dangled everywhere. Bunk rooms nowadays very often are well lit so that you can actually, see what you're doing on all your documents. You've got USB plugs all over the place to help charge up phones. And again, simple little things that you could get from your local corner store for some sort of organization, whether, it's your office supplies, or if you're going to convert this into like a craft room or a scrapbooking space or something like that, depending on what you do. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you could change this around, manipulate this around. Now, this is a deep slide that we're in. The slide is deep enough that you can legitimately sit at that chair in front of that table and not fall out of the slide or feel like you're being pushed backwards. And then remember, once again, we have all of this handy storage space back here that you could utilize for all sorts of different purposes. And again, I think it maybe depends a little bit on the specific work you do, all the things you could do. You pull that bunk mattress out of the way, you see it's just a raw plywood platform under here. That'll vary a little bit by brand, but this is what Catalina does. So if you want to build some big cabinet spaces, or if you just want to throw some cabinetry up here, some organizers or anything like that, I mean, Just let your imagination run wild. What would you do with this space? And it's the fact that you can do this, like I said, with zero tools. Just moving in. Moving in like it's first day of college or something like that. Moving into your new house and setting up an office space. So just because an RV doesn't say it has an office doesn't mean that it couldn't become an office for you. Again, very inexpensively, very easily, because for the most part, I've got a chair and a table. Everything else I've just repurposed from somewhere else that was already in my office. It's not hard. It doesn't take a lot of money to do this. And a quick little note here, just something that I try to support. Anytime you can, anything you do need to go out and purchase, try to find a local store, support your local community, take care of those local people. If they fail you, or if it's just not available, you need to hop online, find an online retailer. I get it. You need what you need. But try to take care of the people that take care of you every day in your local community first. That's that little shop small and small business. We've been very fortunate through this whole nasty COVID period. Our business has succeeded with flying colors. Not as many businesses have been as successful. So that's just a little personal soapbox I wanted to get on real quick. Apologies for breaking normal form and theme here, but that's a message I think we should all get behind a little bit, And here's another thing to think about. This is one of the reasons I like this idea so much in the way it's non-invasive into the RV, is because what happens when you're done with it? What if you change jobs, you change roles, positions, you decide to move to a different trailer to continue your work camping? If you make serious major modifications to an RV for your specific purpose, you're really limiting your potential resale market to other people with your specific purpose. That can significantly reduce your potential buyer pool, as well as the value of your RV, depending on how invasive or how nicely done those modifications are. RV modifications and personalizing and touches, they can be done very, very nicely, but they can also hurt you financially long-term on the RV. What I like about what I've presented here is that, again, it's no hammers, nails, staples, or screws, or fasteners, or glues, or anything like that. It doesn't change anything. So a camper like this that you've converted a bunk room into a functional office space, when you're done with it, you could sell it to a person who's looking for an office space. Or you could sell it to a family looking for a used RV. Now, which one of those do you think is a bigger market? Which one do you think is more likely to get you more money for your RV when you're done with it? That's that extra thinking that we like to give you at Haylett RV. And this is kind of what I'm talking about, because we didn't change anything physically on the RV. We just moved some stuff around. Nothing is hurt, nothing is damaged. You could turn it back into a bunk room. Although, obviously, the greatest benefit to this is that we get to retain the use of the Catalina Battle Fort. So once again, that was just one example. That's not to say this is the camper that you want to do this with. There's a bunch of different RVs that could be very office friendly and easily upfitted, and some of which with essentially no modification. It just depends. I'll leave you, again, a whole bunch of links in the video description. Some things are going to be bigger, some things are going to be smaller, some trailers, some fifth wheels, a little bit of anything and everything, all kind of slapped together in there. Maybe help give you some inspiration, a little bit of a launch pad. If you like little idea videos like this, do me a favor and hit the like button on the video and hit that subscribe button to follow along, and drop me a little comment that says, hey, I like this, or hey Josh, what kind of RVs could be good for X, Y, or Z type concepts? I'll see what I can do. I'll see if it's something that I can roll into a video format, and I'll do my best to put them out. I tend to get far more suggestions than I can possibly fulfill, though, so apologies if I can't get to every single one independently. I do my very best. Short of that, remember, we're family owned and operated, and folks, we'd love the chance to work with you when you're ready. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone, or work camping, everyone. What do you say, Barry? Well, guess we're still not on speaking terms.